Welcome to this part of the presentation, guys, where you really learn how to leverage your time. Mandarin Chinese is one of the fastest ways to increase your leverage of time, energy, and resources. So we're going to show you just a little bit here in this time together how to learn Chinese easy and fast. And I am really pleased to introduce our Chinese expert from our team, Ms. Joy Chen. Welcome, Joy.
你好, that's hello in Chinese. My name is Joy, and Chinese is my native language.
Everybody, I'm going to MC this portion and show you the expertise of Joy because English is my specialty, Chinese is hers. We have a program together where I teach the English section, she teaches the Chinese, but you become bilingual in English and Mandarin very quickly. So I'm going to go over this part and then I'm going to turn the Chinese over to her in just a second here. But you may be asking yourself, why Chinese? I mean, don't a lot of people speak Hindi? Isn't Russian very popular? Arabic? Yeah, they are. They're very popular. But if you notice that slide we just showed you of the top languages in the world, Mandarin dwarfs everything else. Then Spanish is not even a close second, but it's next. English comes in third. Now, if you're talking internet, English is first, but for actual everyday. So what we're saying here is, why would you want to learn Chinese to leverage your life, your skills, your tools, your team, your people, your family, everything you care about? Well, because it's the fastest, easiest way to do it. That's why. So basically, any challenge you can name, we can show you how it's going to be faster and easier and more lucrative and more powerful if you use Chinese, Spanish, and English, just because of the people it reaches. But the way the languages think, it also gets you to think in different ways and it helps you solve problems. It's a very helpful problem solving language. And so, whatever challenge you're facing, Chinese will help you solve it quicker and easier. If you have children, letting them speak the language and ultimately being a part of that economy and that world power that China is going to be for a long time, it's going to be the number one language in the world for the foreseeable future. So, given your chance for them to speak it, learn it, make friends with people who speak it, all those things, giving them the chance to speak and learn, it's going to create a lot of influence in their life. Global influence is one of the things about Chinese that's very powerful because of the number of people. And with that influence, you can use it to make a lot of money. If you could sell something for $1 to everybody in China today, you would make more than any other language you would speak. So it's a way to make as much money as possible in the least amount of time. But these aren't the only reasons to do it. They're just really good reasons. You might want to do it because you like Chinese food. Almost everybody typically likes some type of drink or food from China. So you don't need to be a global power. You don't need to be changing the world, doing $1 million business deal, any of that. Just going down to your local Chinese market or Chinese grocery store or restaurant, just being able to order food and get better food every day would be a simple benefit. Also, because these foods and these medicines and these tinctures and ointments and balms and all these things have been tested for thousands of years on so many people, it is one of the most tested medicines of all time. If you look at how many billion people and case studies they've had of Chinese medicine, it's amazing. They've tested things for thousands and thousands of years. So these have been proven over and over again. They've gotten refined. They're very accurate. It's a very, very powerful medicine. It's very fast, very effective, and has minimal side effects. It's one of the safest. And so it's what I use with all my family and friends. And you may find that as you start to use it, you can take care of things much faster and easier and save yourself a lot of medical bills as well. So there's a lot of good reasons, but maybe ultimately you're thinking, how could I become best at Chinese? Well, the easiest way is to go spend some time in China. Obviously, that's where it's being used the most and has the most influence. So if you actually go to China and have some fun getting all the cool sites and things that they have there, it could make money, it could influence people, it could help you heal, like all these different things. But I would suggest you do it just for fun. If for no other reason, just to enjoy your life more. Just learning different ways of looking at things, exploring things, checking out calligraphy, Chinese philosophy, martial arts. There's so many great things about Chinese culture. Just the enjoyment of it can be worth it. And the person you get to become when you do that, the personal growth you're going to get. So these are common reasons people learn Chinese. We could go on for a long time about it, but time is of the essence, and we want to value your time as much as possible. The other reasons could be, and there's many, these pages could go on and on, but just to become healthier, we've got ways of learning first aid really fast with pressure points that have almost no side effects, lower medical bills, make more money, have more influence, become number one at what you do because you specialize in that group and you're the only person who serves the Chinese market in that. That will shoot you ahead, far ahead of your competition sometimes. Like we said, you can order better food on just your local restaurant. I like to say you can talk to an extra billion friends. There's a bunch of people waiting there that could be really interesting to talk to. If you can actually talk to them, you can see who is the right fit, who you have alignment with, because you're definitely going to have a bigger audience. So you're going to be able to sell to Chinese individuals, Chinese teams, Chinese organizations, Chinese companies, maybe even whole industries in China. So depending on how big you want your business to be in your professional life, being able to sell there, being able to negotiate with Chinese people, go to different Chinatowns, ultimately travel to different areas of China. And the neat thing about once you learn one language is it's easier to learn the next language. Now, the beauty of calligraphy, painting, drawing, Chinese is a language where it's actually a drawing of the picture of the idea, not a series of letters just randomly scattered together. So once you learn about calligraphy and you learn the Chinese characters, you realize they're actually pictures of life. It makes life look more interesting, deeper, more philosophical, more artistic, more beautiful. There's so many great things about calligraphy and learning Chinese characters. And then ultimately, of all the cultures in the world, it's one of the most ancient and probably one of the most accomplished. So just learning basic things about Chinese culture will help you learn your own culture as well. And this list could go on and on. But let me stop there and say, let's get back to why we're here tonight, which is to give you a bunch of value and figure out what will help you the most. You could learn Chinese 1,000 different ways. There's so many great ways to do it. Why would you choose us? Well, one of the reasons is because we've been doing this for a long time. We've helped a lot of people. We've learned ways that are really fast and easy. I'm a native speaker of English. Joy is a native speaker of Chinese. And many of our teammates are fluent in one or the other or both. And so most of us average about 30 to 40 years experience. Some of us actually have over 50 years experience. But if you took the team average, it'd be about 40 years for most of us. I just want to show you just a little quick proof because it took so much time and energy to do this. It's worth noting because this is how much we cared about it. So we basically went to the top body of certification in China and they said, you are certified now to teach not only at universities, but at large corporations, government agencies. They trust the level of Chinese that's going to be taught to be at the highest level. So this class, how long did you have to go for this class, Joy? How long did it take?
6 months.
This is about a 6 month certification. I've got a bunch of different certifications, different university degrees. If you want, you can go Google us. If you send your email in and fill out the form to get our stuff, all of our credentials, all of our testimonials, all that type of stuff, it's all there. We're not going to spend a lot of time in this presentation talking about ourselves because this is more about how to bring you value. This is what's going to help you and your loved ones. But just to know that there's a bunch of certification, there's a bunch of background in the room, a bunch of experience. One of the things that's worth looking at is where did we teach? Who did we teach? Because if we can teach there, we can probably help you too. Joy taught for many years at different schools. Her main one was the Waldorf School, which is a very high level school. This one was in the Bay Area of California. And Waldorf is very well known for being one of the top performing schools in the world. It's also one of the largest growing systems in China. People are craving Waldorf school there. So there's a lot of kids who've been exposed to the teachings. We could probably, have you check out different backgrounds and testimonials and things from different people. But the fact that she was a teacher there, it's very hard to become a teacher there, and the fact she taught that long. So it's a very elite school, and she taught a lot of people who had very high standards and were interested in very high performance. So obviously there's some skill in her background there. My background, I've done a number of different things. Holistic health is my specialty, but I taught at the University of California at Berkeley. It's one of the top universities in the world. It takes 1% of the students that come in. It's very elite, very difficult to get into. Both schools are kind of the same. Mine was more university, hers was more grade school, but they're both kind of that same caliber of type school. And both of us actually had a chance with our children to teach and help out and tutor and mentor kids at a place called the Eming Charter School, which is one of the top charter schools in California. It was founded by people who wanted Mandarin immersion education, which means the kids spoke Mandarin all the time, learned everything in Mandarin, and then wove English into it. So it was a bilingual school. So we got a lot of experience at this stuff of bilingual English and Mandarin. And we just want to show you that whatever you want to learn, it's pretty easy to do it. But our specialty has really been working with leaders, executives, and health professionals. We've worked with almost every type of natural medicine type of person, naturopaths, Reiki masters, chiropractors, acupuncturists, herbalists, Ayurvedic practitioners, Tibetan medicine, Native American medicine. The list goes on and on. We worked with a lot of different health professionals. And the idea is to help people heal whatever they need in their life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, their relationships and their finances. And so that's our background. That's who we typically work with. So if there's something that you want to learn in specific or you have in particular, we can customize it. But generally, most of our classes are designed to be at a preschool, kindergarten level, just super easy, super simple. You're going to do colors, shapes, numbers, all the basic stuff of kindergarten. And then you're going to advance into the specialties that you want after that. We've had many different comments over the years. The ones we get most are that we help people feel safe. It's friendly. It's delivered with kindness and patience. Because that's what we noticed when we had to go learn. It was scary. It was difficult. It was awkward. We didn't know what we were doing. We've been there. We understand. We try and create a totally safe program and then help people collaborate with each other so you can create safety amongst yourselves as well. If you can get into a class, work with some other people, make some friends, it's much easier to learn a language when you have people to practice with. So we did this for many, many years, and we noticed any way we could find to make it faster, easier, simpler. We did that again and again. And we finally created a beginner's program that we call Learn Chinese in 88 Days. And we'll go into just for a second here before we get into actually showing you some samples of it. Because you can learn Chinese quickly and easily, just a few minutes a day, just with this page. So just because you came to the webinar, we're going to give you access to this page. And normally we would ask someone's email, but because you've watched this, you can come here. What we're going to ask you to do is to just take a quick look at what is it you want to create most? What do you want to learn most? This is an example of one of the people we taught. The hard thing about Chinese is to hear it because it's a tonal language. It's like singing. If you're singing the C sharp and the note is in D, it's close, but it's going to be off. So as you listen to it more and more, so for example, if we just listen to Joy really quickly, you'll hear the tones and then you can listen to it as much as you need to. Then you'll just learn some simple things. This whole page, you can learn the whole page in like 5-10 minutes a day. It's very easy. So this is an example.
Welcome to Learn Chinese in 88 Days. My name is Joy. Let's start with the 4 tones of Chinese. First tone sounds like when we see ah. Second tone sounds like when we are asking a question. Ah. Third tone sounds like starting angry and then goes up like a question. Ah. Fourth tone sounds like when we are angry. Ah.
Nice thing about this is if you're in a class and you don't catch it, you feel kind of awkward sometimes raising your hand when other people have gotten it, whatever. With this, if you don't catch it, just play it again, play it again. Our natural method of learning, we let people listen for 2, 3, 4 weeks, just get comfortable learning, listening, being safe with it. Then you can start talking. Or if you feel confident right away, you can talk right away. But just to give you a chance to listen at first. The more you listen, we recommend listening to music, listening to shows, listening to anything that you're doing in that language. The more you listen to it, the faster you'll learn it. Then when you start to speak, you'll speak correctly. You'll know the right ways to say it. So that's just an example of our program. We'll walk you through at the end here and we'll show you how you can actually get involved with it, some of the samples and things like that. That's basically what we're showing you today is just the basics. So now, to get started, the easiest way to look at this is from a perspective of what you would use Chinese for. Why would I want to learn Chinese? Well, Many reasons, but one of the reasons we like to share with people to start with is just if you're going to drink or eat something Chinese, what would you start with? One of the easiest ways to heal things is with air and water. Take a deep breath, drink some warm water, and put something in it. So when you add something to warm water, it's generally called a tea. So now this whole presentation is going to be me saying the English and Joy saying the Chinese, and we'll show you an example of a really fast class on Chinese nutrition. So we'll start with a wide assortment of teas,
各种茶、
green tea,
绿茶、
bubble tea,
珍珠奶茶、
kanji,
粥、
wonton soup,
馄饨汤、
dim sum,
点心、
egg rolls,
春卷、
dumplings,
饺子、
scallion pancakes,
葱油饼、
meat buns,
肉包、
fried rice,
炒饭、
mapo tofu,
麻婆豆腐、
lemon chicken,
柠檬鸡、
kung pao chicken,
宫保鸡丁、
broccoli beef,
西兰花牛肉、
walnut shrimp,
核桃虾、
and one of the most famous dishes of all time from China is Beijing duck.
北京烤鸭、
One of the dishes that people like to celebrate at holidays and festivals is you gather up all your favorite things, your favorite vegetables, your favorite mushrooms, your favorite spices, your favorite whatever. Can be vegetarian, can be meat based, whatever. But you get all your favorite things and you cook it up together. It's called hot pot.
火锅、
So what we've shared with you is basically a simple class on Chinese nutrition. You see how fast and easy it is. If you missed something, if you didn't catch it, we recommend you do it with flashcards. And what you do is you go through them and you say, okay, these are the ones I'm saying. Which ones did I get right? You make a pile, and that's your success pile. The ones you didn't get right, you just repeat. You just keep playing the game until there's nothing left to practice again. And that's how you can learn this stuff really fast, really easy. Once you've learned it, you don't have to keep learning it over and over. Just keep learning the new stuff, and eventually you'll learn all of it very quickly. So that was the basic class. That's what we would have you check out. We would love to have you sign up, get the free downloads, all the stuff that we have here for you. And we appreciate your time and energy. Now, if you're interested in intermediate level Chinese and actually looking at what you could do at a professional level or taking it to teaching your family or loved ones, what we're going to move now to is what we would call intermediate level Chinese. And we specialize in health. So we're basically going to start with Chinese medicine, Chinese healing practices. And if we had time, we would go into all of them. That'll be our next webinar to actually show all the stuff from Chinese medicine. But today we're just going to give you a sample of what that would look like. Starting with fruits and vegetables, there's lots of great exotic fruits. There's a lot of great nutrition, things you can eat every day that will give you high amounts of vitamins and minerals. These are exotic fruits that we recommend people have at least once or twice a day, along with their vegetables and grains and meats and whatever else they're eating. But specialty fruits from China, specialty fruits from Asia, we call these exotic fruits.
中国特色水果。
Now, to finish up here, if we move into health and we move into healing and we move into all this, one of the things that they end meals with is wishing you good fortune. This is called a fortune cookie.
幸运饼干。
Now, the secret to this whole program is if you see the English and you hear us speak it, you can repeat it. But what if you see something in Chinese and you don't know how to say it? How are you going to do it? This is why you need a teacher, because you need to have them tell you how to say it. So I don't happen to know what that Chinese characters on the paper say, but I know someone who does. What does that mean, Joy?
That means good luck. 好运。
Good luck. Excellent. So now you see, you can practice on your own, but you can only go so far and so fast. With a teacher, they can show you the stuff you don't know. Now we're going to move into other types of healing and medicine and look at the actual intermediate class. This is one of the most famous books ever written on medicine, written thousands of years ago by the Yellow Emperor of China, Huangdi. And this is called the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Medicine. And so this is the introduction to Chinese medicine.
中医。
The basics of light and dark, hot and cold, fast and slow, everything in polarities. The basic concept yin and yang is what we call it in English. And in Chinese,
阴阳。
these are the 5 elements of Chinese medicine. And they're a set of organs, they're a time of day, they're a season, they're many different things all at once. But in English, we say metal, earth, fire, wood, and water. And in Chinese, we say
金、土、火、木、水。
if you take this system and you look at it as yin and yang in the center, what happens is anything you can describe as faster or slower, bigger or smaller, brighter or darker, whatever that is, the Chinese system divides it into 3 layers. It says there's the earth layer, the people layer, and the sky layer, or also known as the heaven layer. So in Chinese, time doesn't go from left to right, time goes from top to bottom. So they say it goes from the sky to the people to the earth. So you look at the sky and you say, if it's very yang, that's a solid line. If it's very yin, it's a broken line. So this character would be yang, yang, yang. That's one of the 8 possibilities. These are called trigrams. So the 8 possible trigrams make up the system of Chinese philosophy that says no matter what you're doing, you can always start in the center, but you always have 8 choices. And so these are called the 8 trigrams.
八卦。
These are the 8 directions you can choose. So you take and you lay this diagram down on the ground. What it does is it guides you on where to put things. You can use it for placement, for traveling, many, many different ways. But these are the 8 cardinal directions.
八方。
If you took your whole life and you look at your whole life this way, if this is the south and this is the north, what happens is what's in the east and west, these become the corners, but the center is always health. So they always focus on health first. Then they recommend you go to the east, reading the rising sun. And so from health to meeting the basics, then you kind of work your day on whatever path you need. There's different days you're going to do different things, but the same things occur over and over. And they call these the different flows. This is a different flow of air, water, energy, intuition, spirit, money, all the different flows. And so this is called wind and water in English. And in Chinese, it's known as
风水。
feng shui. So this is basically feng shui consulting with your life. You sit down, figure out what's most important, what's going well, what you need help with. This is kind of the center of our system. This is how we do everything from this. And if you want to get really good at it, you're going to use one of these. This is called a feng shui compass. This shows you exactly what to do in every single area of your life. It's like really early AI, if you will, very, very early programming and logistics and databases and all that type of stuff. This is a very ancient form of it. So this is called a feng shui compass.
风水罗盘。
These are the different types of things you can add to the hot water. So there's a whole bunch of different plants. And again, in the intermediate class, we'll go into every single type of plant, its properties, the symptoms that it helps with, et cetera, et cetera. But just to teach you the basics tonight, this is called Chinese herbs.
中草药。
This is one of the plants that people use. This one is used for good fortune and wealth. This is called lucky bamboo. And so this type of bamboo grows in houses and symbolizes kind of prosperity and spiritual abundance and things like that. But there's many other plants that are used for all kinds of things. But to take the time tonight to show them, it would take forever to show you all the plants used in Chinese medicine. This is just a very common one that you might already know about. Bamboo.
竹
This is a practice that's done by practitioners of Chinese medicine known as Taiji. And what it does is it basically circulates energy and heals things by basic, simple exercise. You can do this whether you're young or old. You can do this at any age. Taiji.
太极
Now, if you're doing actual medical Taiji and looking at shifting different organs and systems and the 12 meridians of the body and all that stuff, we talk about moving that energy around and working with your energy. We call it Qigong.
气功
And these are the meridians, the example being the 12 organs of the body that the energy cycles through. That means every 2 hours it's shifting to a different part of your body. And so typically we start out with what we call the metal organs, that's the lung and large intestine. Then we move to the earth organs, that's the spleen and stomach. Then we would go to the fire organs, the heart and the small intestine. Then it would typically go to the wood element, that's the liver and gallbladder. And then it would finish at the water, which is the bladder and the kidney. And then there's a set of connections of everything in spaces that they consider like a sixth system, which is really like we call it chi or energy. They consider it fire, but it's the sac around your heart and it's the three cavities of your body, your pelvic cavity, abdominal cavity, and thoracic cavity or your chest cavity. So basically your lower, middle, and upper burner, they call them the three spaces of your body. It's called the triple warmer. And what happens is each of these systems has different properties, different things going on. But once you understand the 12 areas, it's all really one big circular system. You're just affecting different parts of it. So these are known as the 12 meridians.
12经络
And this is how you would check them. In an emergency, we would always reach up to someone and grab their right wrist, push all the way to the bone. That's going to tell us how their lungs are doing, their breathing. And then if we do the same thing on the left wrist, we're going to press deep all the way to the bone and feel that. That's going to tell us how the heart is doing. So this is emergency medicine. We only care about their breathing and if their heart's beating, their lung and their heart. Then you would check all the rest of the organs in sequence. And what it will tell you is which ones are strong, which ones are weak. And so you start right away with bringing energy to the weak ones. And then you borrow the energy from the strong ones. And that way, ideally, all your pulses would go to balance. And this is how you do instant healing, instant first aid. These are called the 12 pulses.
12脉
If you could take every single pressure point and learn it, it'd probably take you a couple of years, but there's around 400 to 500 of them typically taught, depending on what school you go to. What they did is they tested different combinations of the points for thousands of years. And what they noticed was certain ones had more benefit than others. This is one that's considered the most beneficial. Everyone in our team does this every morning. This is the first thing we do every morning. So if you want to do it right now with this, just to get some quick benefit, reach up on the top of your shoulder, kind of press where it's sore there between your neck and your shoulder. Just push down, you'll find a sore spot. And then just pull that down across to the opposite hip. And then do this with both arms at the same time. This lets go of pain. Then tap under your eyes. What this is going to do is bring in energy into your stomach meridian and help you digest things, bring in new things. Then if you could find where the top of your chest is, the top of your lungs, the top of your rib cage, and just tap there. This is the master for the immune system, the whole defense mechanism for the body to prevent illness. Then you would tap on the chest, center of your chest. That gives you courage to face whatever's next. Then you'll go up underneath your ribs on the side and tap there. And what this will do is it'll clear out everything that we've just released by doing the previous points. And then if you put your finger in your navel and between your eyebrows and slide them up, that goes against the central channel, which normally flows down and around. What this does is it energetically flushes that channel and clears it out. So this is one of the fastest flows you can do to heal anything. And you can see it only takes a minute. So this is the kind of stuff we'll teach in intermediate in Chinese medicine. But just thought you'd give you an example of this tonight so you can see really quickly and easily. This doesn't take long. It's not difficult. It's not complicated. It's just knowing where to start. And by the way, that was called acupressure.
穴位按摩
Then, quite often, an acupressurist or acupuncturist will follow up with cupping. What this draws out is the things in your body that are deep and sucks them up to the surface. This is a great way to clear out once or twice a week, once or twice a month, depending on how often you need it. And it's called cupping.
拔火罐
If you need heat at that point, this is a plant called mugwort. And what they do is they burn it because it's a consistent temperature. And what it does is it heals with a little bit of heat on that point in case it's too cool. So we find areas of your body that need a little bit of extra heat and we'll heat it up really quickly. Moxibustion.
艾灸
Now, this next one is particularly useful to a lot of the ladies, and I'll let Joy tell you about this one. This is a special one. This is called gua sha.
One of my specialties is helping ladies do gua sha at least once a week.
Now it ends with there's many different styles of healing, but one of them is just sitting quietly and painting. And if you learn how to paint the characters, you start to learn Chinese much faster, much deeper. It becomes kind of a part of your life in a different way, and it's really enjoyable. So this is a master of calligraphy teaching us some of the most powerful medicine teachings by painting them in characters for us. This is called calligraphy.
书法
So that's sort of the middle system. That's the intermediate classes that you can take. And we specialize in about three main areas. We look at holistic health, nutrition, prevention, all that type of stuff. We also do first aid, trauma release, things for life and death type situations, very important, emergency medicine type stuff. And then we also look at sort of aspects of wealth and prosperity, what will help you kind of improve every area of your life. So we like to call it health and wealth. It's essentially health and wealth is the primary focus, but then it could be any other area of your life as well that we showed you in that circle. And that's called the bagua, or the eight other areas of life. It could be projects, it could be relationships, your reputation. It's the wheel of life, essentially. If you took your life and you cut it up into little pieces and you had each section, we primarily look at health and wealth to start with and our basics, but then you can pick any of the other areas. And that's why our slogan, our motto for our overall group is health, wealth, and success. So we start with health, then we go to wealth, then we take that and apply that to success in every other area of your life. So now, in order to do that, that would be sort of the advanced Chinese or the really high level. This is specialties of engineering, banking, finance, leadership, the highest levels of government, medicine, any type of leader, any type of executive that's helping to move a group forward, help a group thrive. This is kind of the most elite level of trainings and teachings we do. And ultimately, what we would suggest is you get as good as you can wherever you're at. But eventually, if you really want to master it at the highest level, you'll need to spend some time in China. So we thought we'd show you some of the places that some of our people train, places that they like, places they find interesting. If you want to test yourself and see how good your Chinese really is, spend a week there, spend a month there, spend a half a year there, whatever it looks like. So these would be some of the places we'd recommend you check out if you get a chance to go to China. Considered one of the seven wonders of the world. It's called the Great Wall.
长城
This is the capital of China, the North capital, they call it. That's what it means in English. And so we call it the North capital. And in Chinese, they call it.
北京
This is a part of Beijing that's very interesting. It's where the emperor used to live. It's where they keep a lot of the relics. Some of the most beautiful, amazing, powerful treasures that China's ever produced are stored in different areas of this place, and it's called the Forbidden City.
故宫
This is another place around Beijing that's very interesting. It's worth visiting. It's called the Temple of Heaven.
天堂
And this is the modern temple, if you will, built to athletics and the best of performance and the best of kind of modern day technology and everything. It's kind of all come together here at the Olympic Stadium.
奥林匹克鸟巢
Now, if you look back in time, some of the marvels of Chinese history and whatnot, comparing it maybe to Egypt and the Great Pyramid, where that was all built to a pharaoh, this entire place, the Terracotta Army, the Terracotta Warriors, was built for the first emperor of China to help him in the afterlife. And so this is quite a really interesting place for a number of reasons. but if you get a chance to go there, just the craftsmanship, just the time it took to build this, it's just quite amazing. So these are the terracotta warriors.
兵马俑
This is kind of the best of Los Angeles and New York meets Silicon Valley. If you took kind of the best of the United States and put it all in one city, that's kind of what Shanghai is like. It's got a lot of different things going on, a lot of modern stuff. It's quite an interesting place. Beijing is the northern one. This is more southern. So this is Shanghai.
上海
Now, this is kind of more in the country. And this is when you see representations a lot of times of China painted, you'll see these mountains. This is Guilin.
桂林
There's other mountains. There's a lot of beautiful areas. These are the yellow mountains of China.
黄山
And this is the West Lake in a place called Hangzhou. Again, you can see temples, you can see the wind and water, you can see beautiful architecture. There's a lot of interesting things to see in Hangzhou. This is called West Lake.
杭州西湖
So one of the neat things about China is that it's so modern, it's so progressive, it's so cutting edge. Unfortunately, it means it's letting go of a lot of its past and it's tearing down a lot of its old places. So a lot of the old places don't exist anymore. One of the reasons we recommend people try and check out China in the next couple of years is because eventually, if you don't, you may miss a lot of this. So some of these places, they're disappearing every day. You know, it's good to go see them while they're still here. This is an example of one. It's called Lijiang, the old town. This is maybe what China looked like 1,000 years ago. It's still got a little bit of that left.
丽江古镇
And this is sort of the premier architectural example of Chinese design and craftsmanship. This is Tibet. This is the palace in Tibet where the Dalai Lama used to live. There's a lot of really interesting stuff. You can see some of the Tibetan sculpture here. This is called a stupa. An amazing place worth at least a couple days if you get a chance. This is called Potala Palace.
布达拉宫
And no matter what you see, and no matter how long you stay and where you go, there's plenty of technology, there's plenty of modern things, there's lots of stuff that people have built, but there's also interesting nature. And so no matter who you talk to in China, you'll find almost everybody loves the panda bears. This is a place in Chengdu that's very interesting. And this is where they breed and help pandas get back into the wild and create more pandas. If you really want to see one of China's premier animals, kind of the symbol of China, maybe get a chance to spend a day or two at the panda bear nursery.
熊猫基地
So we appreciate you coming, spending your time with us. We would love to answer questions. We would love to give you some more examples of Chinese. But we thought the fastest, easiest way is to just show you one of our basic flashcard sets, how we do it, what it would be like for you to get started right now. Because it's so much easier to understand something when you've experienced it than when you've heard about it or had it explained to you. So we kind of talked to the basics. We went to the intermediate. That was some of the advanced places you might go ultimately if you get good enough. Now let's take you back to basics for a second and show you a sample of what if we tried to summarize some of this stuff tonight, make it easy for you to have something to take home with you. This is how we teach. We turn it into a picture of the actual thing so you can see where the character came from, put it with the English, because if you hear it, you might remember it a little bit. And if you see the character, you may kind of recognize it, but in a year, you won't remember any of it. But if you see a picture of it and understand what it is, and learn its English at the same time, while you're hearing how it's spoken correctly, you're getting all these at the same time, you'll remember this 20 years later. This is the fastest way to retain this stuff over time. So we're just going to show you how fast and easily you can learn Chinese in just a matter of minutes here. Fire,
火
tree,
木
sun,
日
moon,
月
person,
人
mouth,
口
door,
门
mountain.
山
So thank you so much. We appreciate your time and energy. If you're interested in learning this, we'll show you some next steps here because you could choose anybody you want to learn Chinese with, and we recommend finding the best people of whatever it is you want to learn. The reason we suggest ours is a good place to start is because our entire beginner program, all 50 classes, You can do them all in under 2 hours. There's really not too many programs in the world that you can just sit down and just do it like that. So if you spend 2 hours a day, take all 50 classes, and then just keep refreshing them, within 3 or 4 days, you'll understand what you're dealing with. And if you use our method of whatever you can remember, you don't have to practice it again. As you do it, it'll get easier and easier. You'll have a smaller and smaller set of flashcards each time. Most of our classes are 2 to 3 minutes, and we suggest to listen to the class, then practice it once, then go back and test yourself. So 2 minutes of listening, 2 minutes of practice, 2 minutes of testing, 5, 6, 7 minutes, there's your day. It's very fast, very easy. If you actually come to one of our live classes, we don't have any classes scheduled for more than an hour because we're all very busy. We have a lot going on. Whatever time you come, we want you to be able to go back to your next thing. Our classes meet Monday and Wednesday from 11 to noon as the first section, and the other section is Tuesday, Thursday at that same time, 11 to noon. So basically for an hour around lunchtime, because that's when we found most people can take a break. That's when we do our live classes, and that's Pacific Standard Time. So just think of 11 o'clock Pacific and translate it into whatever time zone you're in if you're interested in live classes. If you don't want to be in a class, if you don't want to have to schedule yourself, if you don't want to have to show up all the time, whatever your life is chaotic, we understand there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to be in a class. You can just get the download and sign up for the online system and just listen to it right away as often as you want. So safety, being friendly, that's our key, being kind and patient. The most valuable thing you'll get out of learning a language is how fast you can start using it. The sooner you start using it, the more valuable it'll be. So we suggest do something this week, whether it's to listen to our free stuff, download something, check something out, watch a YouTube video, whatever it is. Just get started gently and gradually hearing it. And the more you do it, the faster it will go. You can look around, compare it to the world, see what everybody's teaching. Typically, teachers of our background, our experience, you're not going to find them offering stuff out as much. A lot of them are retired. They've kind of had their day. They passed it off to the people they've taught. You don't see a lot of the masters actually teaching the classes anymore because they've got their students doing it. But typically, you're going to find a range of $20 to $50 a session, depending on the level of experience. What we've done is we've sat down and said, how can we make that just a little bit more affordable, just a little easier, package it up so you can get each class for about $15 to $20, depending on how you do it. If you'd like, if you send us your email and sign up today, we'll be happy to give you the 10 first classes for free. Just give us your email. We'll give you access to the classes. We can show you how to do it right now, starting with your basics, your simplest, easy things. And we'll show you an example here in just a second so you can see how to get started. But Learn Chinese in 88 Days is specifically so that you can practice it for 20 days, get good at it, figure out the expertise that you need, get the people you need to help you another couple of 20, 30 days, and then however many days you need at the end to test. Within 90 days, you should be able to pretty much do every single one of the classes, or at least have a basic sense of them. We want it to be as fast and easy for you as possible. And if you don't see any improvement, once you've done the classes and you don't see any improvement in 30 days, we're happy to refund your money. Now, in all the years we've been teaching and sharing this stuff with our students, we've never had to give a refund, but we're totally open to it. We just want to make sure there's no risk for you if you're worried about finances. So we'll show you really quickly here how you can get started today, because it's really easy, takes a minute or two. And then if you give yourself 5 minutes a day, we kind of, watch the video, see what Joy shares with you. You see the testimony, all that stuff. We've already shown you how the tones work, but this is how a class will actually work. All you got to do is click the button and listen to it.
For each lesson, I will say all the words once so you can hear how they sound. Then the sixth time, I will pause after each one and you repeat after me.
So instead of having you guess or hope or cross your fingers or wonder, I'm going to model it for you, because the best way to be a teacher is to be a good student. So let me be a good student for you and I'll take the class. So I would like to learn how to count 1 to 10 right now. She's going to teach me. All I have to do is listen to the first part, then repeat when she repeats it.
2、3、4、6、7、8、 九、十、
Okay, now I'm going to repeat. 一、
二、
二、
三、
三、
四、
四、五、
六、
六、
七、
七、
八、
八、
九、
九、十. You see how easy that was, guys? Look how long that took. Under a minute, I've learned how to count 1 to 10. You can do this with your colors, with people, food, travel, anything you want. If you look at the page, it's going to explain basically what to do, but I'm going to show you right here a little secret. This is a little trick because you guys came to the webinar. All you have to do is click this first link. Now you can click this and watch it if you want right here. But if you actually go to YouTube, what's neat about it is if you click this link, all you have to do is bookmark it right there. And you've got our $200 class that you can use over and over and over. All you got to do is listen to it as often as you want. So what happens is this will pull up a playlist, and all you have to do is hit that playlist and the whole thing will play automatically for you. It'll just go from one class to the next. So let me show you the first example. It's this easy. It's going to pull up the playlist. It's called Learn Chinese. I bookmarked that, and now I've got this class to use as often as I want. Now it's not the full class, it's just the most basics, but that's kind of where you want to start anyway. It's going to give you the Happy New Year. This is the New Year of the Dragon. It's going to give you our intro on how to use the class, a little testimonial on someone. And at some point, you don't have to listen to that over and over if you don't want. I would just come back here again and again and just listen to class 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This will teach you greetings, daily phrases, how to introduce yourself, how to pronounce things, and how to understand basic Chinese characters. Then what happens is, whenever you feel like learning it again, just play it again. So this is an example of one class that you can go through in 1 minute. Greetings and farewells.
问候语告别。
Hello,
你好，
how are you?
你好吗？
I'm fine, thank you.
我很好，谢谢。
Nice to meet you.
很高兴认识你。
What's your name?
你叫什么名字？
My name is name.
我叫名字。
Good morning.
早上好，
Good afternoon.
下午好，
Good evening.
晚上好，
Goodbye.
再见。
So in any video, if you click in the upper
How many
right-hand corner,
phrases?
what's going to happen is you're going to get to play the whole list. And then if you just want to go to the next one, you can just click that. Or if you just let the playlist play, it'll do it automatically for you. So it's about as easy of learning as you can get. It's like, hey, teacher, I feel like learning right now. Turn it on, listen. When you get bored with it, go do something else. Go do some music, go do some calligraphy, like whatever other ways you like to learn. This is just a really fast, easy way to do it. So if you want to get into the class today, all you have to do is go to this page and it will invite you to come and join. Now you can send us an email if you have some questions or anything you want to look at in particular, or ask some custom questions. But if you want to take the whole class, all 50 classes, it's $198 today. So we'll throw in a couple bonuses if you sign up today, because we'd like to give you some examples of Chinese medicine. We've got some basic pressure points you can do, some basic teas, natural remedies, things like that. So for whoever signs up by the end of March, we're going to send you out those bonuses and give you a chance to get started on Chinese health as well. After that, we're going to have some other offers to go to some other stuff. But for today, because we appreciate you kind of watching this and checking it out, we've got some things for you right now. Very easy, very simple, very fast. Now, if taking a class is important because you want to practice with others, it'll take you to this page and the class where you're actually going to come in on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday for 2 hours a week. That class is going to have Joy answering your questions. She's going to actually deal with tips and tricks, how to take notes, how to do flashcards, how to put stickers on things, all things you can do to go fast. We'll use this style of flashcard. And if you're interested, you can just use the English and the Chinese corners, but we also have Japanese and Spanish on here too. So if you want to learn 4 of the top languages for business and success and things like that, you can use these flashcards. It'll actually teach you all 4 languages at the same time. But if you just want the Chinese version, we can do that as well. This is just showing a more advanced way. But the way I would use this with people is, welcome everybody. We're going to show you how fast it is to become what we call quadrilingual, fluent in 4 languages. We're going to do this. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. We're going to roll them out again. We're going to go uno, dos, tres. Roll them out again. It's going to be san. It's Chinese. And it's the same character in Japanese, ichi ni san. So basically, by counting 1 to 3 4 different times, you just practice 4 different languages. You see how fast that is. Again, we're going to have some extra classes here for you, things you can sign up, check out, get on your own. But if you want to take the group class, that's $598. And so that ends up being a 2-month class. So you get 8 classes a month for 2 months. And then at the end, we give you some bonuses if you do a good job and you finish the class early, or you want to recommend it to someone else. We'll give you some discounts and things on some other stuff, access to private lessons, things like that. And then these lessons, the private lessons, are where you can actually say, here's the curriculum I want to learn. Here's what I need. Here's what I'm going to be using it for. And we can customize it for you. So the low cost option, the regular classes, and the concierge, if you will, the most elite private stuff, whatever works for you, we just wish you the best. Whatever that is for you and your loved ones, we want you guys to be successful in whatever you do. So we appreciate your time again, appreciate your paying attention, listening to us. And to finish here, I'll turn this back over to Joy. What would you like to share with everyone, Joy?
We also offer customized lessons of what you desire to learn most in our private tutoring. We look forward to serving you and your loved ones. Please email me if you have any questions, and my email is joyoftchinese88@gmail.com.
So for any of you who email us, we'll be happy to respond to you. If you go to the page we sent you, what will happen is we'll send you out the links to all of our credentials, our offers, our connections, tips and tricks, all that stuff. That's going to be at this page right here. You're going to go to octagoncoach.com/learn Chinese in 88 days, the syllabus. This outlines everything that you're going to get, the order to study it in, all that type of stuff. We'll put this in the chat. We'll send this out. If you sign up on our email list, this is the email you'll get. It'll take you to this page and it'll give you some extra discounts and things like that. And then we wanted to show you as an example, it's not all just canned. It's not all just rehearsed. It's not all just practice. We can do it live. So we got a couple people in the audience tonight. We don't know what kind of word they're going to ask us. We just thought, throw out a word that you want to learn, and we'll just show you how quick and easy it is to learn a custom word. So let me call on somebody here. Looks like Will. Will, what question do you have for us? What word in Chinese could we teach you tonight just to get you started? What word would you like to learn?
How about computer?
Computer. Joe, you want to take that one?
Sure. Computer is 电脑.
电脑.
So 电 means electricity. Now means brain. So electricity, brain. So that's in Chinese is 电脑. That's how do we say that?
Okay, thanks.
Excellent. Who else do we have? Is there anyone else that would like to ask a word that they could learn in Chinese?
How would you say family in Chinese?
家庭. So 家
家.
means, yeah, 家 means home. 庭 is like a yard. So like home yard is family. So that's how do you say 家庭?
家庭.
Right, correct. 家庭 家 is 第一声，庭 is 二声 second tone, first tone 家 second tone 庭 so 家庭.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you being here. Joy, thank you so much for your wisdom and your guidance. Thank you, audience members, for participating. We really appreciate you. What we're going to do here is we're going to give you a little extra bonus for showing up on the live webinar tonight. We're going to stay here another half hour and answer any particular questions you have. Chinese health, medicine, traveling, architecture, finance, banking, how to write a book in Chinese, anything you can think of. We'll spend a half hour with you here as a gift. We really appreciate you. For those of you in the audience watching the recording of this, don't worry about it. We don't want you to have to sit here. But for those people who are live with us, we're going to give you a few extra minutes. Happy to answer any questions right now for you. We'll turn off the recording and we'll spend a half hour with you going through that. And appreciate you all very much. If you have any questions, any concern, any ideas, any suggestions for how to improve it, anything like that, please feel free to reach out to us at joyofchinese88@gmail.com. And we send blessings of health, wealth, and success to all of you and to all of your loved ones. And we will end in Chinese by saying thank you.
谢谢，
谢谢. And we will finish by saying goodbye. The way we say goodbye is
再见。
再见. 再见, everybody. Thank you so much.